I practice soul level astrology, which I created in 1987, using the birth chart as a window to the core nature of human beings. That method is largely based on a form of astrology called star genesis, which was created by William Lonsdale, who later changed his name to Elias Lonsdale. Star genesis is a whole different way to look at the signs of the zodiac, look at the birth chart, even look at the meaning of life. It strips away semblance and gets down to core. It's based on the four directions of the birth chart, known as the heavenly crown up at the top of the chart, the earthly root at the bottom, the in-breath on the left side, and the out-breath on the right side. Crown, root, in-breath, and out-breath. And up at the crown is where the spiritual forces come down into your nature. It's where your higher nature is consulting with spiritual authorities in finer dimensions. So planets that are up near the top of the chart are raised to their higher vibration. You take a planet like Mars, which has a lot to do with power and assertiveness and sexuality, and you place it on or near the top of the chart up at the crown, it raises your sexuality and your assertiveness to its higher vibration. It doesn't mean you'll always make that a real thing, but that you'll be summoned to raise your Mars power up to the top. Opposite that point, at the bottom of the chart, down at the Earth root, is where your karma lies, the many different archaeological layers of your past lives and your ancestry. Those are the zones that have the most density and gravity, as you'd expect at the bottom. And when you gain freedom and clarity in those deep zones, you gain the greatest clarity, because it's not enough to gain freedom and clarity in just the higher zones up at the crown unless you face your shadow down at the root. So you take a planet like Mars and you put it down at the root, you have a thrumming engine underneath everything that you're doing in this life. There's the force of a spiritual warrior to break through the obstacles that prevent evolution. Over on the left side of the chart, which is normally called the ascendant, we have the in-breath, which is where you get to breathe in to how this incarnation is fresh and new and something you've never experienced before. Even if you're an old soul who's been around in many, many lifetimes, in this lifetime, it's all new again, because that old soul is in a new body, as it is in every life. And each life needs to have its innocence. When you gain a state of wonder and openness and childlike innocence that Zen calls beginner's mind, or even more, beginner's heart, you're living the in-breath. So a planet like Mars over on the left side of the chart would offer you that innocence in your sexuality, in your need to assert yourself. On the opposite side, on the right, is what we call the out-breath, which is where you connect with others in relationship and creative expression. That's the place where you get to leap out of yourself and connect with all those forces that wish to connect with you. It's the adolescent point of the chart, and a planet like Mars over on the right side of the chart would have to do with a sexual urgency and a passion to connect with others, passion to express yourself. When you learn the secrets and the nuances of each of the four directions, you can have much more mobility. And like a golden compass, the birth chart allows you to navigate in between realms, in between worlds and dimensions, never getting stuck at just one point, but learning how to belong and inhabit all the points, which conjures a deeper state of living from the soul.